Now let's move from Linux security to adding a new user. So the primary tool used to add a new user to your Linux system is user add. User add. So this command provides an easy way to create a new user account and set up the user's home directory structure all at once. The user add command uses a combination of system default values and command line parameters to define a user account. So the system defaults are set in the etc default user add file. To see the system default values used on your Linux distribution, enter the user add command with the d parameter. So user and groups are used to control access to files and resources. That's the main purpose of basically using users and groups, because you have to segregate the entities that are using this system, because then only you can have a specific permission system, a permission ecosystem. So users and groups are segregated based on the limited access and control over the files and resources of that machine. So now user login to the system by supplying their username and password, and every file on the system is owned by a user and associated with a group. Now every process has an owner and group affiliation and can only access the resource its owner or group can access. So every user on the system is assigned a unique user ID number, the UID that you can see on the screen that is presented in front of your eyes. So basically, if you want to see that username and UID, which are stored in etc passwd file that we have seen just a few minutes ago. Now, user's password is stored in etc shadow, which is in encrypted form. That also we have seen a while ago. And users are assigned a home directory and a program that is run when they log in. That's usually a shell. So users cannot read, write, or execute each other's files without providing a permission. So let's get into the any of the Ubuntu. Okay, it's gone. Clear the screen first. Now what we have is cat etc default, and okay, this is what our user add file. Let me okay. So here you can see group numbers and everything. The default home directory for add user. So that's what everything is defined here. When you add a user, and the group is this, and when you add a user, then automatically his address, his directory will be created in /home. In that directory it will be created. So this gives us some information about that. Then what will we do is to get the more exposure on UID, user IDs of the root. Let's go to the passwd file again. So cat etc passwd file. So if you see Ubuntu Ubuntu is a regular user, so that's the reason is UID is 1000. Whereas you can see the root user will have, just a minute, yep, here cat etc pass wd file. So Charan, Surya Charan is a normal user, a regular user 1000. Test is a regular user 1001. Charan is a regular user 1002. Whereas let's get up here more. Yeah, here it is. So root user, this is a root user's record, and 0 is the UID of root user. And if you see proxy 13, backup 34, list 38, system MD 100, 102. So basically 100, root user will have UID 0, service users will have 12999. That's why HTTPD, all the services, system MD, they will have a 12999, whereas regular users will have UID of 1000 to 60,000. That we have just now demonstrated, and their home directory will be in /home for the regular user, and for root user it's /root, and for services it's /var and ftp. So, and their shells also vary. For a root user it's just bash, it is in binary directory, and for regular user it's a bash again in the binary directory, whereas for service it is just been no login. So no login, because you cannot have a bash for service. That is a different way of dealing the things. So now modifying a user. So Linux provides a few different utilities for modifying the information for existing user. So these utilities begin with user mode, user mode, user mod or user mode. So user mode edits user account fields as well as specifying primary and secondary group membership. Then passwd, we use this to change the password for an existing user, and chpasswd, read a file of login name and password pairs and update the passwords, and change the password's expiration date, and chfn changes the user account's comment information. So then what we have is information about Linux user types. So as I have mentioned before, there are three types of users, out of which the first user is super user or a root user, but normally we say root user. So a super user or a root user is the most powerful user. He is the admin user. He has all the accesses and privileges and permissions and to do each and every activity in the system. And second is system user. The system users are the users created by the softwares or the applications or the services that were installed by a regular user or maybe root user. So for example, if HTTPD is installed in CentOS, and if Apache 2 is installed in Ubuntu, so HTTPD will create a user HTTPD user, and Apache 2 will create a Apache 2 user, or Jenkins will create a Jenkins user. So these kinds of users are known as system users. System users. I'll show you that. I'll show you. Then after that we'll have a normal or a regular user. Normal or regular users are the users created by the root users. So root users only can have that privileges to create a new user. So they are normal users, like example Charan, Rahul, Jansi, etc. Only the root user has the permission and privileges to create or remove a normal or a regular user. So now let's get into the WSL one more time. so that we can find out. See, APT, System MD is a service. System MD time sync is a service. So that is also a new user. These are called system users. Then System MD network, System MD resolve. The proxy mail is one more thing. Games bin root. So we have plenty of users like that. Or what we can do is, let me log into the CentOS quickly as fast as possible, and then let's install. Okay, let me clear everything. Okay, I just want to demonstrate that. For example, in CentOS, so yum install httpd, and you want. Oh, that's okay. I got it. Sudo I yum install httpd. Yes, it started. It's started downloading it. I have to give S. Yeah, I gave it. Now it's installing dependencies and all done. So now let's let's go and look into this. Before that, let me clear this. Now cat etc pass wd. Now you have to find Apache. Okay, Apache. It's HTTPD, but it's named as Apache. So as I have shown you in the slide, the name of the user Apache, password, and then group. It's a system user. It's between 1 to 1000, and then Apache and user. It's this is the location where your service binary is located, and then this is the area, this is the location of your uh, home address of Apache user, and then this is the shell of that has been no login. So I have demonstrated a system user also. So now whenever a user is created, Linux does following things by default. First one is creating a home directory. Home directory is created as home or username, and then a mailbox is created where spool mail, and then unique user ID and group ID or will be attached or will be given to the user. So let us create one user and see. Okay. This is. So let me clear the screen first. At this moment, we have only one user that we can see. That's CentOS. Now I will add one more user in this system by adding user add and then Charan. So the user has been added, and let's check. Here it is. Here it is. Charan. So before the CentOS is the only one directory presented in home. Now Charan is also present because user ID. So let me. Okay, that's how you can. That's how when you create a user, when you add a user, the home directory is automatically created, and unique UID and PID will be allocated to that. So if you have doubt, we can check the UID of that. So ID Charan, here it is. UID is 1001 is attached to allocated to that. Group ID is 1001 and groups is also 1001 Charan. So that's how it works. So now let's look into the group files. The group file the group file exists present in etc directory itself. So the file etc group stores group information. Each line in this file stores one group entry. So basically group name, group password, GID, group members. So let's get into the CentOS again, but this time we'll place it on left side. So now cat etc and then group. Here it is. So name Charan, just now I have added this user, then password, then user ID, then it's empty. Here if it's a group, Charan is a group. So this group, if it has a plenty of user members, that will be added here.